see. Welcome back to another episode of If They Won't Listen, It's Space. It's made in a Hollywood basement. Beaming aboard, as always, is my co-host, is Captain Spencer. Let's bring him up.
Woo! What is going on, Lieutenant Leon?
Lieutenant
You're crushing
Commander.
the stars out there?
Oh, every day. I just like, life to me is nothing more but a neutron star collapsing to create a nice, good, supermassive black hole. That's my life right now.
That could go so many ways, my friend.
that way, and that way. Whoa!
Whoa!
You should have put on your 3D. You should have put your 3D goggles on now. That's where you messed up, son.
Oh god, that is one thing I have to say. I'm glad Star Trek never did in the 80s.
Get into the whole 3D gimmick of the 80s.
Oh yeah, no, they're like, no, we ain't gonna do this.
No, we're not. We're above this. We're Paramount Pictures. We're above it.
I don't know. They had Friday the 13th 3D,
but it was so the movie was so campy. That's why it had to be the way it was. It was amazing. All right, what's the beverage today, man? What synthahol? What synthahol did you replicate?
Well, today's beverage is based off of Dark and Stormy, which consists of ginger beer, which actually has zero alcohol in it.
Damn, that sounds good. Isn't that just kombucha?
Sort of. It's kombucha, but without the health factors.
Okay, continue.
And rum. Now, it's your choice of rum. You can have it wherever you like it from. Me, as long as it comes in a bottle, I'm glad that's where it comes from.
Not in if it came in a box or maybe a Tupperware, you would probably go, no, not today.
No, not today. I never once in my life did I do box wine either. I was just like, I seem a little bit above this. I don't know why, but I do. And I'll tell you something. I'll have a screw top off like bottle of wine, but I will not go for the box of wine. Now it's kudos to everybody else. Like, hey, if you had your bags of wine, by all means, I'm glad you enjoyed it. To me, it just looked like a nasty hangover. Did you ever try the boxed wine?
No, never. I've seen it. I remember hearing about it first in Futurama. Then I actually saw it and went, oh, it's real. But no, I've never had boxed wine.
Oh God. Some people do it, and some people actually made some interesting beverages out of it. But anyway, back to my beverage over here. Tonight's beverage is rum. Running down the stream. And then we have ginger beer.
That sounds good, man.
Right? And then a little bit of cinnamon simple syrup.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I was actually for a second I thought you were gonna say there was gonna be a twist of lemon in there, and I would have been a little getting fancy on me there, buddy.
Oh, I love to get fancy with my food and cocktails. When it comes to food and cocktails, like I do not sell myself short.
No, you're willing to go into the undiscovered country.
Oh, you know it.
And that is our segue, baby.
If you got shapeshifters, I got a deal.
Fantastic. All right. I don't remember who did the summary last. Was it you or me?
It was you.
It was me? All right. So, all right. You go.
All right. So
summary of us.
All right. Summary. Woo, here we go. The story has the crew of the Enterprise engaged in peace treaties with the Klingons. Starfleet, Spock, has Captain Kirk offering the olive branch, which kind of just blows my mind because it's like, how much do you want to gaslight your own friend? But that's neither here or there. If you missed, and And like that's the thing. Like if you actually watch the previous films, you know, like Captain Kirk's the last person you want to really make peace treaties with the Klingons because like it killed his son. So like you know, having
kind of
forgotten that,
it's a bit raw.
it is a bit raw.
It's a bit raw.
And you know, and let's be honest, like the whole reason why Klingons want like peace treaties going on is because they had the experience of a Chernobyl planet just happen. And they were like, oh man, we are screwed. Starfleet, what's going on? What can we do?
You know what, guys? Maybe it's time we sign that treaty if it means that we all get to benefit.
I'll tell you something. Those pirates, they wised up. They were like, all right, we're no longer just going marking our flag. We got our flags down. Now we got the mining. And then all of a sudden they had one bad incident and they're like, shit, we got to go back to the original. We got to make a peace treaty now. Fuck.
I guess plan B has now become plan C. Like, all right, guys, you know, we had a good plan.
We had a great plan.
Had a great plan. Just did not go the way we expected. Now,
you know, that canary really let us down in the mines. All right, enough of the corny jokes on my head. Anyway, so yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about the Klingons, but are you done with your summary, or is there more? No, there's more. There's more to your summary.
I mean, there's more to it, but that's pretty much the gist. The Klingons want peace because they messed up one of their planets. Kirk has to make a peace. Hey, it's Myers' back, so you know you got another Shakespearean theme going on. So what's better than like you know, who killed who? Like it kind of you know you got a lot of like English elements. You even got a little Sherlock Holmes in there at one point with Spock turning the crew upside down in the Enterprise.
Oh my god, I love that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We got yeah.
Everybody's got a scene. Everybody's got a scene in this movie. It is overpacked, but never is it overwhelming. You are in for a treat with the Undiscovered Country.
Yeah, well said. All right. With that being said, are you ready for some production notes and credits, baby?
Oh, give me the fun facts. I've been waiting for this all week.
All right. Story by Leonard Nimoy, Lawrence Connor, and Mark Rosenthal. Fun fact about Lawrence Connor and Mark Rosenthal, they actually are a partnership. They have worked on lots of movies and TV shows together as a pair of writers, which includes the following: Little House on the Prairie, Superman 4, Quest for Peace, The Sopranos, Boardwalk Empire, The Legend of Billie Jean, Mighty Joe Young, Mercury Rising, The Beverly Hillbillies, the 1993 film, and Burton's Planet of the Apes.
Oh my God, they are such a hit and miss.
I know. I was literally gonna say that. What a hit or miss fucking CV.
No wonder why they come as a pair. They're cheaper that way.
But yeah, probably. But it was, and I mean, it was definitely with Superman 4, Quest for Peace.
Oh my! There are some great elements of that movie, and then there's a whole lot of bad.
Like the rebuilding planets by looking at them, or rebuilding a structure by looking at them. What? That's not Superman's powers.
This guy, you just gotta throw some darkness on him, and he's done.
Yeah.
But yet you go to the moon, and everything's all right.
That was such a bad movie.
I know.
All right, screenplay by Nicholas Meyer, your boy, you know him.
Yeah, baby. I love Nicholas coming back. This is his third script now.
Yes, and Denny Martin Flynn, who wrote a Star Trek novel a couple years after this movie premiere, which was Fearful Simmons, many nonfiction books about stage production and writing screenplays, and has worked on as a stage director, many Broadway productions. But for some reason, I couldn't find it on any CV or any resume on IMDb or even on the Internet Broadway database. So I was kind of like, what? Like, what a mystery this guy was. Hopefully, if someone is watching, they can give me more info about this guy. That'd be great. And then finally, it was also directed by Nicholas Meyer, and then this time produced not by Harve Bennett.
No.
Ralph Winter and Stephen Charles, another
Ooh.
pair of producers who you know for the following: X-Men movies, the trilogy, Fantastic Four, Inspector Gadget,
Wait, which Fantastic Four?
The not the original one, because that would mean the 1994 version, but the one with Jessica Alba.
Tim Story's version.
Yes. And then they did Hocus Pocus, Hackers, The Day After, Time After Time, Ghost, K-19 The Widowmaker, and Strange Days.
Oh, they got a pretty interesting filmography.
They do. Movie was not edited by your boy Berger, though. It was edited by two people, Ronald Roos and William Hoy. I couldn't get much information on them. Cinematography was done by Hiro Narita. And I also couldn't get much information about him, but they both have very good track records. Production design was once again done by Herman Zimmerman. Visual effects done by Industrial Lights and Magic, and it shows.
Yes, it does.
Really shows, and in a good way, not in a like cheesy, campy way.
No.
And then finally, music by Cliff Idleman. Not Horner.
No.
Not Horner.
Not Horner or Goldsmith.
Nope. It's and there's a reason why, because the music budget was very little left. And
I believe it.
And they went with Cliff Idleman, who did three, The Rescue, Crazy People, The Final Days, Triumph of the Spirit, and The Meteor Man, which, if you don't know The Meteor Man, that is a classic. Such a good movie.
I think you forgot a modern day classic he has out too.
What? Tell me.
Sisterhood.
Traveling Pants. I completely forgot that one, bro.
I saw that as filmography. I was like, what? How do you do this? That and My Girl 2, and then like, well, I guess My Girl 2 and Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants makes sense, but it's like, how did you get into Star Trek? Obviously low budget. I mean, the guy's a mediocre composer at best. Like, at least he pumps up your heart.
Not a memorable track. Not one memorable track. I mean, when you heard the TOS theme, that was great, but at the same time, it wasn't really him that was doing it. They were just. It was, I was kind of, it wasn't impressive. Nothing memorable. It wasn't impressive. It just wasn't memorable.
Exactly. It needed to do what it needed to do within the scenes of the movie. But when you walk away, you don't walk away humming it.
Yeah, you really weren't. All right. So production, this movie came out, principal photography or script was done by October. And then, even earlier than that. Principal photography started in April 16th to the 27th of 1991 for a release date of December 6, 1991. Budgeted of $27 million and box office $96.8 million.
What a comeback.
Yeah, that was very good. And it was a lot. And I think that was just a little bit higher than The Final Frontier, which let's go back one. Final Frontier was budgeted at $33 million. So
less money.
Yep.
Less money, and you got a bigger bang for your buck in this one.
You really, really, really did. So here's some other interesting facts before we get into the cast. The movie was originally conceived as a prequel.
Oh, Starfleet Academy, right?
Starfleet Academy. And then it was supposed to be with DeForest Kelley kind of being the narrative frame of the movie. And then that idea was rejected. And then it kind of came around that Nimoy wanted to do something that would explore the illusion of the Berlin Wall falling, which would be the Klingon Empire. Yeah. And then they thought about, what about a Chernobyl type incident? Because that's not too soon.
No, not at all. It's like, what, 4 years removed?
It was about like 4 years after the disaster. And they wanted to go, let's do like a Chernobyl type disaster.
That's why it's like, they had a Chernobyl planet scenario go on. And they're like, we're okay. We're okay. And I'm like, I've heard this before on HBO.
Fantastic. So here's some other things. Other films that came out in 1991. You want me to hit you up with this one?
91. Wait, hold up. Let me guess.
Go for it, man. Before we get into the cast.
All right, 1991. I'm going to go say Silence of the Lambs.
Boom.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Boom, boom.
Let's see what else. JFK.
Boom.
Thelma and Louise.
Boom.
What else came out that year? Give me 1 second. So I got all those.
Your second's up.
Barton Fink. Barton Fink.
Boom.
And that's all I could think of at the current moment.
All right. All those you got. This also includes Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Hot Shots, The Addams Family, Hook, King Lear, Fried Green Tomatoes, and Naked Lunch.
Ooh.
Boom. Those are all
91's a really solid year. City Slickers.
City Slickers.
That's
which
another
is
one.
A great movie.
You enjoy that film.
Huh?
You enjoy that film.
I did.
Oh, I would love to talk about that with you one day. I find it to be a very there's that old saying where a telescope, when you look through a telescope, if aliens were looking through a telescope today, they would see the dinosaurs right now because just how, images travel and everything.
Right, how light travels. Right.
Yeah. That's how I feel like with that particular movie. It's like if you look through it at a distance, so like it looks good. And then when you see it today, it's just like, what? That's how, like, you ever start seeing Elmo's Fire?
No, never.
Okay, just check it out. Check it out and get back to me. I would love to talk about this with you on camera. This will be a fun conversation. But anyway, speaking of conversations, see, we're all, we're cool. We're great. You know who's not great? The Klingons. The Klingons with Kirk. And Kirk with the Klingons. A lot of K, but not a whole lot of love.
A lot of oil and water. A lot of sand and ball bearings.
Sand and ball bearings. I love it.
It's just not, it's an idea, but it's not the best nor optimal idea.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So you get this whole thing, and I'm just when Spock came on, I was like, I would like Captain Kirk to do this. And you went, bro, you sure about that?
Yeah. It's like, I don't think this is a good idea. Even Kirk's like, I don't even suggest this is a good idea.
I think,
and I say yes to everything.
But the funny thing is, if you had to look at it from Spock's logic, Spock's Vulcan logic, it would have to come to the idea that, okay, to make this treaty really happen, we have to take the person that lost the most from the Klingons personally to extend the olive branch to show how much we're really, really willing to create this peace. If you had to really look at it, that was Spock's logic, and I get it. But at the same time, it's like, your boy Jim.
Yeah, no, that's really well said, because you're absolutely right. He's the most countable person to really extend the olive branch, and it shows such a level of honesty and respect. It's like, this is the best we could do for you folks,
right?
And it's amazing how when we get to the dinner, how everything really presents out.
Really. And one of the more interesting things about that dinner is how sophisticated they are. Right?
In what way? Because there's a lot of sophistication going on at that.
There is, but if you look at the previous Klingons before this, including Christopher Lloyd's his interpretation of the Klingons and the Klingons before that, you saw a lot of that space pirate, very bandit feel. Whereas this one, you sit down with Chang and you sit down with Azetbur and then her father, the Chancellor. There was a lot of sophistication. They're quoting Shakespeare.
Yeah. We do this for shits and giggles. It's like in a way, it's like listening to like Chang kind of quote listening to somebody quote like Reservoir Dogs. Like, we find the lines to be so quotable and like poetic, and I feel like the way we enjoy those like dialogue or those quotes is the same way like Chang enjoys like Shakespeare. He's just loving to quote every single part of that book, and it's like he does it because he gets his rocks off about it. Unlike Khan, where he does it where he has like emotional feeling stakes into it. He's like, I'm trying to express what I'm feeling right now, and this is how I feel, and I'm going to use Shakespeare. Like, it's kind of interesting with Nicholas Meyer's back, how he always involves the Shakespearean themes, and in this one, it's more like somebody quoting a movie.
Right. Just to show you like how much I know about your culture because I read your classics.
Yeah, and then after that, it's like, I mean, is Shakespeare that good where like he transcends into the 23rd century and there's still nobody else they could reference? Like, wouldn't it be more equivalent to him just referencing Mark Twain?
Uses this one word in this book to describe this race. Did you guys notice that? Anyone else pick up on this? Kind of messed up. Which, speaking of which, racism is very well presented in this movie, which Gene Roddenberry had a problem with. Which, by the way,
it's the 20th century and everyone's supposed to be utopian.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's supposed to be a more utopian. Okay. It's supposed to be more utopian time, but this is when Paramount really started taking the Star Trek universe and just letting writers come in and dive in and put in their spin, their interpretation, and where they see things leading off to.
It's funny. Yeah, go ahead.
Go.
No, it's funny you say that because I really agree with what you're saying. I think like Gene Roddenberry has like the DNA of the franchise down. Like, he's got set players in this area and this world, and he's created this really awesome archetype world.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are a lot of other hands that really help shape and form Star Trek as we know it, especially at this particular point in 91. I'd probably say it's in the golden age of Star Trek right now, between TNG, the Next Generation series, playing and being like maybe a top 10 TV show,
right?
And then having the release of this movie come out. I mean, if it wasn't for Richard Wise, Harve Bennett, Jerry Goldsmith, James Horner, Nicholas Meyers, we would not be at this point where we are today without those other people.
Right. I really get what you're saying. And at this point in 1991, you're already at 4 years of Star Trek, The Next Generation. 4 years of that show going. And that was
one of your highest level is like viewing sponsorship too, because like after like 4 seasons, it kind of you got one more season where you're still going uphill, but then like after season 5, it's like by season 5 you start to see declines.
Right. That usually will tend to happen if writers kind of get complacent.
Yes,
they'll get complacent. They go, we can vote it and everyone will watch it. We'll have a season full of like 10 good episodes out of 26.
Exactly. So at this point, with the 4th season, as you mentioned, and the Undiscovered Country, I mean, like, it's not shocking that it made $96 million. Is that correct? 96 million, you said?
Yeah, almost 97. Like literally
97.
Super close to it, but it was not. Yeah, it was like 96.8 million.
Yeah. I'm more insulted they didn't get the 100 million.
Yeah. I mean, you have to think about, there's 2 things that might have happened here. One is the fact that like we're still in the TOS era when we're really now more in the TNG era, right? And then
how cool is that your favorite franchise is like kind of like in this section of media realm, and then the other one's in this section, and you're like, well, I grew up on this, I love this, it's still in the movie, so it's not interfering with the TV series.
Yeah.
But the TV series is still awesome, and when are we going to get these people to film?
Right? Give it about 5 years, guys. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, about 5 years, because in 96, I think that's when not First Contact. Generations comes out in 95, 96, right? We'll get to that.
Yeah, 95 sounds about right.
Yeah, and then we get to that after that whole diplomatic dinner goes the way it does, which, by the way, Romulan ale, who remember who suggested that, right? Valeris, the replacement for Saavik.
Oh yeah, she did.
She was the one that suggested it in the first place.
I forgot.
Yeah, which was a little foreshadowing how much she was already the saboteur, leading up to the reveal how she's one of the saboteurs in this diplomatic mission. So everyone gets tipsy. People say what they don't, people say what they shouldn't be saying, and it doesn't, and it's just very rocky. And then you get to the ambush where two Starfleet soldiers, well, first they fire torpedoes at them, then two Starfleet soldiers go in, their officers go in, killing Klingons.
That's impressive. That whole scene is really impressive. From the dinner scene where you see them talk very intellectually, and when you see who's the head Klingon again? The Chancellor.
The Chancellor. I don't know his name off my top of my dome though. Sorry.
No, it's cool. But the Chancellor is like the one, right? Gorkin. All right, so Gorkin. But right before he gets teleported back to his ship, it's really cool to see him talk to Kirk. And he's like, "Listen, we're too old for this, but we could start the bond now, and then they could finish it off down the road." Yeah. So it's like, listen, we're just doing this because it's at the end of our era, so let them finish it up. And I was just like, that's a really great way of saying, yeah, I'll do this, but fuck it at the end of the day. It's just like 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Step in, step out. Turn yourself around. Let's go. Which, by the way, I want to talk about something really quick as we keep moving. Valeris, played by Kim Cattrall. As you know, if you don't know her, she was in the Police Academy, Sex and the City, Porky's, Mannequin, and a personal favorite of mine, Big Trouble in Little China.
Ooh, I'm surprised. Okay. I gotta say something. She was my personal favorite Mannequin.
Yes, I loved her Mannequin. Then Chang is played by Christopher Plummer. And if you don't know who Christopher Plummer is at this point, he's an accomplished Shakespearean actor who's done the following movies: An American Tale, Rock-a-Doodle, The Sound of Music, Aces High, Return of the Pink Panther, and Knives Out, which was one of his, not his last movie, but was one of his last few films before he died earlier this year. Now, Gorkin, the Chancellor.
Yes.
Do you know who he was played by?
Yes, he was played by the guy in The Final Frontier.
Yes.
Who was a Vulcan.
No, wrong.
In the Peace Planet. No, he wasn't a Vulcan. He was a
regular Terran.
Was he?
Yeah, he was
the other. What's the other thing after Vulcan?
It was a Romulan.
Romulan.
But that was a
Romulan.
That was a woman.
The Romulan.
It was a woman, and then there was the drunk Klingon. But yes, David Warner plays Chancellor Gorkin, and he's in this movie. And then his daughter is Azetbur, played by Rosanna De Soto, who's done a lot of TV in her day, which includes the following: the original Mod Squad, the original Kung Fu, Punky Brewster, Murder, She Wrote, and the movie Stand and Deliver.
Original Kung Fu and then Punky Brewster.
Yeah. Do you love how I list these things? It's just fantastic.
I love it. And it's really interesting to hear where people's careers are in that time when they go from one to another thing.
And where they went afterwards.
Yeah.
It's just super, super interesting. So after the ambush, we lead him from the diplomatic dinner to the betrayal.
Yeah.
Now to almost like a declaration of war.
Can I? Yeah. Can I just say something really quick?
You can say something. Yeah, you can totally say something.
All right. Kim Cattrall, who plays Lieutenant, what is it, Valeris?
Valeris, yeah.
Valeris, a Vulcan pilot of the Enterprise, right? And don't get me, dude, I'll tell you something. She is one impressive looking Vulcan that we've seen in the franchise so far. I think, you saw all these other variations of the other Vulcan ladies, and they all had something that I felt like they were trying to copy off of other movies, and I felt like this one was its own unique Vulcan person, right? And I gotta say,
was it the hairstyle?
I think it was the hairstyle. I really think it was the hairstyle. She pulled that off. I don't know how, but she did.
She really owned it. She owned it.
She owned it. But here, that's what I'm trying to get to say, man. We both, you and I, or at least I like to think you and I, both know that Lieutenant Valeris is really Lieutenant Saavik. It's an obvious rewrite for that.
Right, and that was because Gene Roddenberry, which by the way is the year. This is the year he died. He was actually able to see this movie before its release. He died days after watching a cut of the film that was going to premiere that later that year. And Gene Roddenberry didn't really like this idea in the original conception of the script that Saavik would betray everyone, and she didn't like that. But him and Nicholas Meyer were just it was sand and ball bearing. Actually, it was I'm pretty sure Nicholas Meyer wrote that part in this script to mirror what happened between him and Gene Roddenberry in their first meeting, because the story goes that he stormed out 5 minutes into it.
Oh, really?
Because they just could not agree on the direction of anything, and then he really didn't like the fact that Gene Roddenberry didn't want Saavik to betray everyone, and Nicholas Meyer goes, "Well, I'm the one that fucking created her. She's my character to do with what I want."
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's absolutely fair on his account. I mean, like, if you create the character, why not transition to that way? And like, it's fitting too. I mean, like, she gets left on a Vulcan planet. I mean, it's not like she gets necessarily included in the rest of the journey and adventures. Like, I would be a little bitter too. Especially if you're going to play out the storyline of her being pregnant by Spock, and then Spock never returns. I mean, like, up all those antes and have her as the villain in this one. I'm like, I'm sold. I am sold. Because then it really has a really cool, like, it has a cool
there's
factor.
A layer.
There's a layer to it. And there's a nice callback to the whole other films too in that one motion. Like it's brilliant.
It would have been a really good
it wasn't executed.
Circle. Would have been a nice full little rhombus.
You know what else is a full circle? This past week would have been Gene Roddenberry's 100th birthday.
That's right. I was seeing that on Reddit the other day.
But yeah.
I saw that on Reddit. Yeah. Well, look at that. Too bad. Oh man. Okay.
Who makes it to 100 nowadays? Really?
Oh shit. There's people that are making it to 100. Yeah. Like, I know they've been posting.
Do they want to though?
I mean, they seem to be, they seem to be in good spirits, I suppose. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I want to see how far I go before I finally just,
Oh, no, absolutely. Everyone's,
before I, do my last punch out for the day.
Fair enough. All right.
So to speak. Okay. So instead of Azetbur, who is being told by Chang to invade Federation space, she refuses and instead takes Nimoy. Not Nimoy. I'm sorry, Bones and Kirk as prisoners.
Yeah.
Where they're
really cool. That's a really cool scene when you see that guy die and Bones is doing everything he can to keep him surviving, and he's like, "Listen, this isn't my anatomy, man. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best." And you just see the guy die, and it's like, "Yo, listen, I know Bones. This guy did everything, and now you're just going to arrest him." And Kirk's like, "If you save him, great. If you don't, whatever."
Which, by the way, that was really funny. Which the court system was also another point where you saw that there's still a warrior clan or a warrior race, but have now gone to this like sophistication of a more judicial system. But it's still a harsh judicial system.
Yeah, no, it's got a colonial aspect of it with like mixed with like a modern trial. So it's like you got the whole crowd, instead of with pitchforks and knives, it's like these red sticks. And like after that, it's just like rows and rows or levels upon levels of like everybody just shaming you and looking down on you with complete blasphemy. Shame. And then you got this, instead of a regular hammer, you just got a ball hitting this base, and you're like, "This is badass. What's going on?"
Yeah, it just sparks flying out everywhere.
and you're like, "Chang, why are you such a general? You should just be an attorney at law."
I know, right?
You're killing it.
Play by Christopher Plummer. It makes sense, especially when he did that movie where he played the rich guy that refused to pay for the kidnapping, to pay the ransom.
Oh, the one that Kevin Spacey got cut off of.
Fun fact: Kevin Spacey was supposed to play Chang, but was replaced by Christopher Plummer.
That's really interesting. Is that
I was lying.
You son of a gun.
Would that have been really funny? This thing.
That would have been interesting. We got Kevin Spacey. Who exactly? And then we got Plummer. Like, oh, sick one. That's a solid name.
Solid fucking name.
You want to see Christopher Plummer in a good film? Go watch The Insider.
Yeah, the Insider or Inside Man?
Insider. The Al Pacino, Russell Crowe. It's a Michael Mann film. I'm telling you, watch it, you'll enjoy it. It's serious. Like, it's a serious film. Don't think it's like some kind of action film or anything like that. It's like, it's about like this one guy exposes the tobacco industry, and like Al Pacino
told me about this movie
for 60 minutes.
You've told me about this movie. You've mentioned, you've praised it before. So the defendant of Kirk and Bones, do you know who that was?
That was, I forget the actor's name.
Michael Dorn.
Michael Dorn, who plays Worf on TNG.
And he's playing Worf again, but this is not Worf as you know it. This is Worf's grandfather. Yes,
which I think is really cool.
I think it's really
cool. And here's why it's cool. It's like, it gives you another layer of why Worf is with Starfleet.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, it's said but not really poked at. It's just like, here's this little thing we're doing. We're really adding it for shits and giggles. But like, if you're really into like the whole mythology of Star Trek, then like, why can't this be Worf's like granddaddy? Like, how cool is that? And the DNA is like, yeah, I helped out Kirk. Like, I basically, I had faith in Starfleet, and here's my like grandchild now having faith in Starfleet, even though he was adopted and kind of just put into it. I mean, like,
yeah,
holy shnikes! I think that's really cool. I think he's got the best role out of anybody in the whole franchise. Because
he's got the whole conflicting race and philosophies.
Yes, and at this point in 91, what we know of the Klingon race is like next to nothing. It's still bare bones. There hasn't been anything really developed that we could hold on a particular level. But with this particular actor, he was like the point of view of every historical event that would happen with like the Klingons in their history, and like the traditions that they would have, and like, you know, the holidays, and to have him just play in this one movie with all the old timers. I mean, like, as a TNG actor, I mean, like, as a Star Trek actor, that's got to be really cool, where you're like with the old and you're in with the new too. Like, oh man, if I was in his shoes, I'd be so jazzed. And then to go on for so many more movies, and then after that do TNG and Deep Space Nine. And Deep Space Nine, I really think his character really arcs in a way that's been just like so underwhelming when you actually watch the TNG stuff.
Yeah, because you know, I haven't finished watching TNG yet, and I've been really into DS9. I've talked about this before on this show. Been really, really into it.
It's dope, isn't it?
You're right. It's such a good show. I haven't got to the part. I just got to the part where they're starting the Dominion War, or actually preluding to the Dominion War in season 3, and I just started that. So I'm still working my way through that series, but I like it so much better than TNG. I love it a lot. Speaking of which, there's others. It's really interesting how there's other Star Trek actors in this series as well, because one of the conspirators, Colonel West, is played by René Auberjonois.
Ooh, I love that name. But what else did they do?
Oh, let me tell you, motherfucker. He was in The Good Doctor, an episode of MASH, King Kong, the 1976 film, Where the Buffalo Roam, Police Academy 5, which is funny since Kim Cattrall was in Police Academy 1.
She was in Police Academy 1?
Yeah, Kim Cattrall was in Police Academy 1.
Damn. Okay.
And then finally, he plays Constable Odo in Deep Space Nine.
Ooh, Constable.
So you had not one, but 2 actors that were going to be in Deep Space Nine.
That's pretty ballsy. Well, you know, that's the beauty about it. If you're a part of Star Trek, you'll wind up getting recycled in some other way, shape, and form, and all in a good way, of course.
Yeah, there's actually there's extras that are kind of Star Trek career extras, where they've come in and they played a Vulcan, they played a Klingon, they played the alien race of the week. they've been a Starfleet ensign in the background somewhere. Like it's pretty cool. Just to say, I've been on the Enterprise, but I've also been on the Bird of Prey.
Oh man, that's true.
There you go. All right. So then
so moving forward.
After we get to the exterior shots where Bones and Kirk are exiled for slavery, which those shots were done in Anchorage, Alaska, by the way.
Yeah, they were.
You knew that? Oh, you did. Good.
No, I knew it was in Alaska. I didn't know it was Anchorage, so I do appreciate that fun fact.
Yeah, and then so where they have to now work in internment, and now parallel is that other story where we get Spock, who's now become fucking Sherlock Spock.
Yeah. No, he really has. He is out to find the dirt.
Oh, I really love that. But in the internment camp, which it's a gulag, it's an internment camp, it's a concentration camp in a lot of ways, which was supposed to be, which how I looked at it was showing, Kirk that he's now being in the bottom foot. You're no longer top tier. You're up in the high sediment. You're now on the lower sedimentary level, buddy. You're not, boom. But this is where they meet Marita, who's played by Iman, famous actress model. You might know her better as David Bowie's wife.
Ooh.
Yep.
That's impressive.
She's done some other stuff, but yeah. Oh, yeah. So she ends up, she's a model actress, and she actually has some acting background before around this time of the movie, which included Miami Vice, if anyone remembers that show, and the Cosby Show, and House Party 2, which I always thought was the superior house party of all the 3 house parties. And no, I don't recognize the 4th House Party film as canon. That's just me. That's just this one man's viewpoint on the whole thing. But she makes an appearance, and she turns out, she's gonna help Kirk and Bones escape out after she's got a little tongue wrestling with the Kirk for a little bit to entice him to want to come and follow her out from the prison. You know what I'm saying? She was a little. You can already see that she wasn't a character to really be trusted, especially with the fact that you find out she is a changeling.
When you got eyes like that, you really can't trust the person.
No, you cannot.
No, and I'll tell you something. Fun fact: I didn't know she was in House Party 2. That's really cool. I love House Party 1, 2, and 3. The 4th one I saw once in my life, and it's like Rising Hannibal. I wish I never saw it again.
Why? Why did they make this movie?
Exactly. Now, having said that, that woman, that actress was just on fire. She's so on fire. It's I've yet to see something this exotic out of a Star Trek movie in quite some time. They're usually a lot more less exotic with their species of aliens. This one is very much in the exotic zone, and the performance here is unreal. And I'll tell you something, the whole way she just keeps twisting and turning and everything, and the way you see her just develop as a shapeshifter, and that they kissed and everything, it's got funniness to it, but never at the same time is it just dumb humor either. But at the same time, it's the cool aspect of Bones and Kirk breaking out of prison.
It was the Great Escape with Star Trek characters.
So Kirk is Steve McQueen?
Kirk is Steve McQueen.
That's pretty epic.
There you go. There's your there are your parallels. Speaking of parallels, meanwhile on the Enterprise, you got Sherlock Spock tearing it up. You want to talk about that?
Spock, yeah. So Spock's turning up. He's looking for evidence, right? And he is no stone is uncovered unless we uncover it. So there's an awesome montage, not a montage scene, but quick cuts that go from one area of the Enterprise to the next. And at one point you see somebody come through this one station area with basically a metal detector, but it's like docked out to look like some kind of super duper like crime solving like footprint analysis like off the metal floor. It's just like I don't get it, I don't understand it, but at the same time I'm rolling with it. And then it's like the whole discovery of the boot. By the way, these boots are friggin' awesome. They kind of remind me of the boots from Face Off when they're in the prison. Speaking of prisons.
Great scene.
Great scene indeed. And then all of a sudden it's just like, I feel like at this point, Scotty was funny in the voyage home because it was like he forgot that like an Apple computer originally wasn't talkable. It wasn't like
you know, voice activated.
No, it wasn't voice activated. The mouse wasn't a speaker to speak into. Like there was not. So it was just like funny because he was just a fish out of water. And I feel like some producer was like, I love how you made that guy look really stupid. Can you do that again here? And they were like, yeah, no problem. And he's got these like weird lines throughout the film. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, you feel like he was a little off.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're right. There was this certain, but he wasn't as bad as Final Frontier.
Well, no, he didn't have to walk into anything to solidify it.
It was just his happenstance to things.
Yeah. But he's like, you don't know when to back up when you're breaking out of prison? It's just like, what? Who the hell says a line like that?
I think they just gave Doohan a bottle of liquor and just say, look, you're in this scene, but I want you to have a line. Go ahead and pull it out of your ass whenever you feel like it. So we're going to do about 10 takes. You come in when you feel it's right. And if not, we just won't use it.
Yeah, and then it's like, what is it? You see Spock go, wink, wink, the warp speed's down. He's like, what are you trying to say? Insulting my intelligence? I got warp speed. We're on the same page here. I got you. It's like, don't tell that guy about a surprise party because he'll ruin it.
I was doing the best I can, Captain. I tried to. When Spock said to not tell you, I thought he meant to tell you not about the cake. But there it is. It's right there. It's like fucking cake.
You sound like Russell Brand trying to talk like Scotty. That's actually incredible. Like, I mean that in the most complimentary way.
Thank you. Oh my God. I just
want to start doing awards after each series.
I cannot believe it. You like me. Oh my God, you like me. You really like me.
Oh my gosh.
I accept this award. Thank you. All right, moving on.
That's how Santa died. We got some espionage going on, like not espionage, but we got some dark-seated things that just don't want to happen. George Plummer doesn't want the Klingons to meld well with like the Starfleet. He's just like, we stay on our side of the dirt. Let's keep it that way.
Keep it on this side of the neutral zone, baby.
Yeah, and then friggin' Bones, Spock, Bones, Kirk, they break out of prison through that nice shape-shifting lady, and
nice, you say?
I mean, she's nice enough.
She's got pretty eyes.
She's got, yeah, nice eyes. But, here's the beauty about it. This whole movie is like a juggling act, and you're seeing all these balls juggle, and at never any point is it getting out of control. Everything is like even key.
It's
like you're
well paced. Yeah, you're right.
It is well paced. Like last time we saw this, it was like, first act is really fun. Where are you going from here?
Doesn't prattle on a particular scene. It stays in just enough for you to go, all right, I have had there it goes. It already stopped.
And that was the beauty about like The Wrath of Khan, like compared to the previous film, the motion picture, like it was really hitting on every drum. And it's like really funny. It's like, here was the final frontier. And you know why it's called the Final Frontier? Because it's the last time that crew actually flew together.
Yeah.
That's the only accommodating reason I could call that previous film the Final Frontier.
Because Captain Sulu is the captain of the Excelsior at the beginning of the movie. You end up finding that out. Who witnesses the Chernobyl that is Praxis Moon.
Yes. And by the way, congratulations, Sulu.
Yeah, he did it.
Nobody deserved the shit more than that guy.
I would say. So good.
So good. So anyway. So like, you know, there are a lot of elements here to play. We know that the Chang is up to no good. We know that our faithful leader, Mr. Kirk, is going to be coming out soon enough to get picked up by Mr. Spock yet once again. I mean, it's kind of funny how they went back to that same play, like Nicholas Meyer. Nicholas Meyer just kind of played the same trope he did with Khan, waiting out Kirk in the planet.
Right.
Like he kind of just hits on the same beat, but at the same time he does it in a way where it's different enough where you just don't catch it instantly. But at the same time, Nicholas Meyer is the only person who gives enough depth to these characters where when they speak their dialogues, like it actually has sense to it and meaning. Like the whole time when Bones is defending himself on trial and he's just like, I'm a man for the people, by the people, and all the people. Like, I don't give a damn what species you are. I want to save you. And like, Plummer's just like, what's your
little drunk?
Reason to saving? Yeah. Like, where are you too? Like, who gives a shit? I'm here to sell. Where's your doctor? Where's your doctor, Chang? Where's your doctor? Nowhere. What were you calling this guy? Mr. Bones, Dr. Bones.
When the phone rang, I'm the one who's knocking.
True story, though. True story. And what do you do with this great, intelligent doctor? You throw him in a prison. That's bullshit.
No, and it goes to show you that there's an ulterior motive here, because Chang really wanted them to look really bad. So when they go to that point to escape with Marita, which by the way, she didn't think to transform. Maybe transforming takes a toll on her, so that's why. But then she's the one that gets shot, and Kirk is the one that lives. And right before he gets killed, and they're about to do the big reveal, they get beamed up.
They do. I love that.
Which, by the way, before that, remember that Kirk mentions that he's got a Viridian patch on him.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually went back and saw where it happened. It's at 32 minutes, 40 seconds. You just see, when Kirk says, I'm going to go down there, I'm going to beam aboard, and Bones is going, you see Spock put his hand right on Jim's shoulder, and you actually see him placing it on his shoulder.
Oh, that's great. I love when they do little stuff like that.
Yeah, I actually had to go back and see that and went, oh, he really did. But balls to him, or props to him, because how did he think that was going to stay on from his uniform to his prison garments?
I'm sure it's got that nanotechnology where it sticks to any kind of fabric like it's cement.
I guess, whatever. But so they beam back aboard, and I just like Kirk's reaction when he gets back on board. It's like, you could have waited 3 more seconds.
3 more!
You're welcome, Jim. 3 more seconds.
So good. It's so good.
That was very well. That was a very fun scene.
I gotta say, throughout the whole time watching this movie, you could tell that DeForest Kelley had the least amount of animosity towards William Shatner at this point.
Yeah.
Because like nobody wanted any screen time with William Shatner.
Yeah, his ego was big.
Oh my God, it was ginormous.
I directed Final Frontier.
The Final Frontier.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the last movie.
But they decided it was such a good movie they had to add on another.
Yep, that's how that goes. I mean, Paramount Pictures really wanted to roll up another Star Trek movie because they were reaching the 25th anniversary of what would have been Star Trek, the first episode. And that's why they really wanted another movie. They wanted to capitalize on that.
As they should. And it's funny. I think actually Deep Bones mentions that he's been part of the Starfleet, part of the Enterprise for at least 25 years.
Yeah.
Which, funny enough, is like the length from the first series.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool how that tied in. Actually, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Little nice little sprinkle there of detail. Little detail sprinkled in there. There you go. You're welcome. You're welcome, world.
You're welcome, world.
But
so, all right.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Kirk Bones. They get they get sent back to the Enterprise. They're kicking it. Kirk's getting the updates on what's going on here. That we realize that there's a big peace treaty and like the Genevas essentially between the Klingons and the Starfleet, and then like you see a whole other level of another infiltration system going on. Like Klingons, I tell you something, you kind of write them off for just being not simpletons, and not primitives, but
a one-dimensional warrior race.
Yes. And then in this one, they're like, we got people over here. We got people over here. It's like, whoa, is this the Americans? Do we just have spies in American Starfleet? What's going on? How did this happen? Do we not pay you enough? There is no money. Obviously, we aren't paying you good enough.
With our benefits and our access to technology.
Your benefits. Dr. McCoy, that's your health benefits.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right. Yeah. And so then it's revealed that Valeris is the traitor is the traitor. She was the saboteur on the whole thing.
That's such a great scene.
It is a really good scene how they faked her out, and then how Spock says, by logic, you have to kill me now, and she couldn't.
No.
And I think this is another reason why it would have been better if it was Saavik.
Yes,
and not Valeris, because she can't kill Spock. It would have been the father of her baby.
Yes. That dude, the fucking elements at play there would have just been like, I think this is the greatest Star Trek. Like, be slowly on that plot alone, because it's got enough invested from three other movies where you could go with it, and it's not a problem. And if you haven't seen the rest before, it still works on the same dimension as if you were to see it with the Saavik.
Yeah.
As Saavik, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great scene. And I'll tell you something. Everyone's on full cylinders in that moment. And I got to tell you something. The bridge of the Enterprise is probably the best I've ever seen it in the filmography.
You're talking about the design, the sleek design, right?
Yes.
Very, and that was just to show you that, hey, we're on this new iteration of the. It's been updated Enterprise. It's got new boats and whistles. And by the way, did you notice that they actually showed the device that does the boatswain whistle?
Yes, I did. Right? You see the guy play it right before they get beamed, right?
Right, near the beginning of the movie, right? And so you saw a lot of these like new, sleeker designs showing that Starfleet is progressing production and technology, electronics, etc. You're right. That was one of the best looking bridges I've ever seen in all 6 movies.
Yes, absolutely. It's hands down the best. And
yes, sir.
I'm going to save my comment for the end of what I think
all
about.
Right. You do that for me, baby.
So Spock, unorthodox, without even asking for permission, goes into Saavik's memory.
Valeris
memory. And that's the first time where you kind of see it happen and there's no permission granted. And I find that to be
non-consensual.
No
mind melding.
And I don't think, like, if you and I to like watch each one week after week, I don't think any of us would have saw the significance in that moment of the scene.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty cool. Like that's what I mean about Nicholas Meyer. Just like the story aspect, like great visionary director, but the story aspect, he knows how to add these elements where it finally pays off at a certain point. And if you followed this long, you realize that him, like, going to somebody's mind in a very unorthodox way. It's just like, oh, like obviously this is how high the stakes are. This is how serious it is.
Yeah. And then the fact that he had to use two hands at some point to really intensify how deeper he needed to dig into her mind to find who's really behind everything. And at the end, she didn't really know. She was working for some unknown figure.
Which is great. Like in all honesty, I kind of wish this is how like well done Phantom Menace was taken, was executed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because the whole thing was about peace treaties and like about like this and that, and it was all diplomatic, right?
Right.
Pretty much like Undiscovered Country. Difference is Undiscovered Country really managed to do it in a way where it works. With Phantom Menace, I felt like there was good intentions, but the delivery wasn't as well executed.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with you on that. 100% agree with you on that. And then when you get to that point that after, Chang is trying to really fuck over to really destroy the Enterprise and Kirk and everyone on board, because this is the difference between what he wants for the Klingon Empire versus like what can stop him from actually having that. And that how he kind of plays it. Plays out as a poem. Did you notice that? It kind of plays out like a bit of a poem for Chang. But then they get the torpedo on him that reveals him. And then Captain Sulu has the Excelsior fire right in that direction. They just bombard him, which was just fantastic.
That's a great scene.
It was a very good naval battle.
Yes, which I mean, Myers, he's only great at that. And to see how he outdoes his own ending with another naval battle is even more exciting.
It was a very tense situation because they had to get that whole thing into the torpedo to get it launched out. So they can actually.
It's impressive and well executed.
Yes, sir. So executed very well. And then they go.
And Sulu wouldn't have been able to make it there if it wasn't for Christian Slater.
Yeah. Christian Slater was like, we need to come back to Starfleet. No, we don't. No, we don't, Ensign. What part of that do you not understand? Did I stutter, Ensign?
It's like, I got to take orders from this guy, whatever you say.
That was actually a pretty good Christian Slater. Guess I'm going to have to take my orders from somewhere. Might as well be from you, Sulu.
Oh my God. One of these days we're going to find out Christian Slater is like, his father's like Jack Nicholson or something.
You really kind of we can always get to that another day, but we can always glossing over that. I will agree with you. There's a Jack Nicholson-esque to his acting sometimes. You do see that. But after they blow up the bird of prey.
Yeah.
Take us to the next scene there, buddy.
So they blow up the bird of prey. Goodbye.
Right. To be or not to be. Boom, bitch.
Boom, bitch. Goodbye. Now we got the Geneva Convention going on. There's an assassin getting ready to go up play. Kirk and the crew realize what's going to happen next. They stop the incident from happening. You get a great scene of friggin' Kirk jumping up on the panel, defending the president of the Klingons.
He jumps. Does a great tackle.
Explosion scene. Boom. You get to see Nichols like she like, what is it? She
pulls out her phaser gun
on the guy, and it's just like, yes, like beautiful, well executed.
Captain Sulu pulls out the gun on Admiral Cartwright. He's like, I don't think you're going anywhere, Admiral.
It's true. You're right. Everything just started falling into place so well. And then finally it's like, everyone kind of says a piece. They're like, hey, glad you saved my life. Glad I could save your life. Maybe we can meet somewhere down the middle. And it's like, well, this is a road to a great start. And then like the peace trees go. But it's like the last two scenes after that are the real money makers. Last three scenes.
Okay.
The first scene is you have Kirk saying goodbye to Sulu and thanking him for his help. And then after
Yeah.
that, you have the camera that not pans, but it's a medium shot. No, it's a large. It's a wide shot, and you see the whole bridge, and you just see the original crew, and where Sulu's supposed to be sitting, there's nobody in that seat. But if you look at like the seat, you realize part of it is actually made out of like this yellow fabric, which I feel like is such a great callback to Sulu. And then you see each of these characters stand in their position on the bridge, and it's just like, that's a money shot. This is them saying goodbye to the fans and everybody, and about to embark in that one more journey into the stars. And then you got William Shatner does the ending finally, and he says his 2 words, and it's like, where he talks about going to space in the future. It's like, it kind of almost brings a tear to your eye.
Yeah. I got a little misty-eyed.
Yeah. And then it ends in a creative goodbye where you kind of get everyone's signature in the credits.
Like showing that they we approve that this is our last movie kind of thing.
Yeah. Kind of like how they did it with Endgame.
Yeah.
It's like, it's really interesting to see that happen. And it's just like those, like, boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. It's like those 3 endings are done each in their own way, but it's done in a way where it's like, it's all in sync, and it has such a lovely theme to it. And it's just like, I am glad they brought back Myers for this last journey, because like nobody could do a proper goodbye for these characters except for him.
It was a nice little tie, a little bow tie on the gift that was Star Trek, the sectology.
Yes.
Is that how you would say it for 6 movies? Is it sectology?
I thought it was Ock, but okay.
No, I think Ock is for 8. I think that's 8.
Oh, 8. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But okay,
I just wish an octopus had 6 legs.
Yeah. You know what the funny thing is we didn't talk about is the Federation president that had to be rescued. Do you know who that was played by?
Red Foreman.
Red Foreman from that 70s show. Kurtwood Smith from Rambo 3, RoboCop, Dead Poets Society, 21 Jump Street, Eek the Cat, and A Time to Kill.
Yes.
And there was something they were supposed to do was, I don't know what version you watched. I watched it via a YouTube rental.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, AMC?
No, I'm not going to do AMC. I refuse to give them my money. Anyways, so they think they were supposed to unmask the Klingon to make it reveal that it was another Starfleet conspirator, which was Colonel West. Because he's credited in the movie as being, it wasn't just a Klingon, it was someone wearing Klingon makeup to make the Klingon look bad as well. That was something that was missing in that movie, and it must have been a deleted scene, because I saw shots where they pulled off the Klingon makeup and he's still dead on the floor. And the fact that if you read the Memory Alpha, which is the Star Trek wiki, it talks a little bit more about how Colonel West disguised himself as a Klingon.
I gotta check that out. That seems really interesting.
That was that was the other thing. I kind of had to dub in my own thing, but there wasn't really. That was the one thing I didn't really like, was there wasn't a full explanation why a Vulcan, Starfleet, and the Klingons had to be involved to not have this treaty go through. Did you have a theory or knew something by any chance on why that was the motive?
At that point, no, but I could care less about the motive. Like, everything was so entertaining. Like, the motive on that end was kind of minuscule, because I was just like, I was kind of making up my own story. I was like, this would have been better if it was Saavik. So the whole time I was kind of seeing as if it was Saavik as opposed to anything else. And that's why it's like, when you see the portrayal and shit like that, I'm more focused on what the would have been on that. Where when it comes to Mr. West or Colonel West, I really didn't get to see it from that perspective. But I'll check it out again just to actually see it.
Go for it, man. You have my permission. I kind of just want to know the reason why. What was the motivation behind all that. Like, why did he conspire to go against Starfleet, the Federation, and go against everything? So Cartwright and his conspirators were trying to assassinate Chancellor Gorkon and attempted to frame Klingons for the assassination for the Federation president. Adventures exposed Cartwright, but what was it? But doesn't say like the reason why. Oh, and it's actually in the beginning of the movie. Cartwright voiced his opinion that the prudent course of action would be attack.
That's right, because he disagrees with going after making peace with the Klingons, and that Kirk agrees with him.
That's right. It was right there. We completely forgot about that.
Well, yeah, because you're just like, well, why, Spock? Why would you do this to Kirk? And then you explain your well-executed reason.
Man, this is the movie. This is a movie kind of worth a rewatch. I got to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
I may have to rent it again and just to catch all those things. But there you go. That was the reason why he didn't really fully agree with it in the first place, and he did everything to have it sabotaged, and had Valeris work for him. Okay, so there you go. And by the way, the quotes at the end: "Where to, Captain? Second star to the right. On towards sunrise." Peter Pan, and then how he quotes almost the mission statement of the Enterprise, but then he corrects it from "where no man" and corrects it to "no one has ever gone before."
That was awesome.
Which that's what they say in TNG.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In TNG, he says "where no one has gone before," where in the original series, Kirk says "where no man has gone before."
I like how they.
So that's a wink back over towards TNG as kind of like we're passing. This is the full torch. Now. Yeah, this is fully now the passing of the torch towards the next generation.
Oh, that's far out. I like that.
So there you go. That, my friend, that's Undiscovered Country. What are your thoughts?
Hey, listen, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun. What about you? What about you, Leon? What did you think about this film all day?
I thought it was a solid plot, good pacing, well acted, good special and visual effects all around, and I liked it. And I liked it a lot. And I just thought it was a really good wrap up of all.
It was a good wrap up. Yeah.
Really good wrap up.
You couldn't ask for a better farewell for your characters than this. I
wholeheartedly agree.
So now we get done with the original series of the filmography.
All right.
What is your ranking of the films?
Oh, I got it right here. It's on my OneNote.
Okay.
All right. So number 1 is Wrath of Khan. 2,
Check.
The Voyage Home. 3,
wow.
Yeah, I know, I'm there. Search for Spock. Then Undiscovered Country, Motion Picture, and then dead last is Final Frontier. Sorry,
oh wow.
Sorry, Bill. I'm sorry. You just got dealt a bad hand, Bill. It just happens.
So we agreed on the first and we agreed on the last. So Wrath of Khan.
Okay.
Undiscovered Country.
Whoa.
Search for Spock. Voyage Home. Motion Picture. Final Frontier.
There you go. It's funny. You and I agree on the first, third, and sixth, because you said your third was Search for Spock, right?
Yes, third was Search for Spock.
Yeah, we agree on the first, third, and sixth. At least we're on that page.
Odd numbers great. Even numbers fucking.
There we go, guys.
All right.
That's Undiscovered Country. That's our rankings. That's our thoughts. Tune in next time when we'll be taking a break from the Star Trek to watch Galaxy Quest.
Indeed.
All right.
Looking forward to that one.
You got anything you want to say before we bounce out of here?
Have you ever seen Galaxy Quest?
Oh,
Lieutenant?
5 times, baby. It's a great movie.
So our next week we should do a thing where you see how much influence was put into Star Trek. What callbacks do you notice that because you watch Galaxy Quest and it's a Star Trek based thing, but you never realize how much it is. Right?
Yeah.
Did I lose
Yeah.
you there?
Yeah, you did a little bit.
All right.
I was trying to find a sound bite, but it's over. It took too
All
long.
right. Fair
But
enough.
no, you're
Fair.
right. There's actually, when I went back and rewatched it recently, about back in July. Yeah, that's when
Yeah.
my family came up. It was in July. I watched that movie again for the first time in so many years. I actually did notice callbacks to the original series and the movies.
That's awesome.
So I
All
did
right.
notice like some things here and there, and especially with how they executed the movie and went, and even in its plot, I go, this is a Star Trek plot, but then also it's a love letter to fans.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Which, by the way, there's a documentary on YouTube about Galaxy Quest with Tim Allen and Sigourney Weaver.
I love Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, of course, she's America's Aunt. We've been over this.
She's America's Aunt. That's right. All right. I gotta beam out of here. I got a Romulan calling my name.
All right, bro. Be
Leon,
easy.
awesome
Jesus.
as always.
Hell yeah, baby. See
Take
you next
care,
week.
Lieutenant. Peace.
Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. And we're out.